Am I the asshole for telling my employee they can't eat before their break? Newly promoted, I have an employee who consistently comes in my opinion, not ready to work. 3 days, 12-hour shifts, hospital. As soon as she comes in, busy or not, she claims she can't do anything until she goes and gets coffee. Then 3–4 hours into her 12-hour shift, she orders food to be delivered and claims she can't do anything because she needs to eat or she's going to get very angry. This includes not answering code blues or responding to emergencies while she eats, and she takes 20–30 minutes. I've compromised and told her she can take her break early then, and she told me that doesn't count as her break, because she doesn't use her break to eat, she uses it to drive around and distress. So 6–7 hours into her shift she takes a 30-minute break. I've also told her she can nibble and snack when we aren't busy as long as she responds to any emergencies and resumes working as needed, but again, she tells me she's going to get very hangry if she doesn't get food in her. I've asked her if she eats before she comes to work and she tells me, no, she barely wakes up on time to get to work as it is, and she won't wake up any earlier to eat at home. I have personally bought snacks that can be nibbled on throughout the shift if an employee just needs something to get by. From my understanding, in the past this behavior was allowed because we weren't busy and had a lot of downtime, but since the pandemic we have been very busy. We are missing over 50% of our staff, so I can't have an employee waste this much time on the clock. We have 50% staff because people chose to find a different career field that was stay at home, not get the vaccine. We're getting paid more for working less as a travel, compassion fatigue, not because of one break that's always been the standard for decades. Now she's telling new employees that I starve my staff and overwork them, but I just don't see how I'm being unreasonable here. I eat before I get to work and bring my own coffee from home to sip throughout work. If she can't make that effort to be prepared for a 12-hour shift, I can't help that. That's her decision. I need to know if I am the asshole before deciding how to address this. ETA. I did not expect for this to blow up, just to clear the air. We work in a hospital setting with direct patient care. We have always had one 30-minute break. This employee has worked this type of shift for 8 years now. This is a typical shift for a hospital worker. Nobody else has a problem with this and can do time management to eat on the go as needed or take the time to sit when slow. There are plenty of opportunities for her to work 8-hour shifts instead, and she chooses to work 12 to get 4 days off. I do not have any problems with the other employees, and they understand to snack when they can. They can eat for a minute or two when they can, or they can sit for 10 minutes if we are slow. This employee is doing this when we are busy and not able to sit at the moment, and she refuses to do any work during this time if needed, including not responding to code blues, asking others to cover her workload. Other employees are upset with having to cover her workload. I do provide snacks that can be nibbled on. She refuses to eat those and wants full meals that require her to sit for 20 minutes. Again, she chooses to not eat during her break, so that's why she is eating while working. I'll clarify that the snacks I provide consist of guacamole, queso, salsa and chips, breakfast tacos, sausage rolls, donuts, yogurt, fruit, fries, trail mix, nuts, salad, bread, deli meat, PB&J, condiments. These employees are allowed to eat these when they can, as long as it doesn't interfere with patient care. Hang on, are you saying you make her work 7 hours straight without a break? In my country that would be illegal. Resident doctor. Typically nurses, techs get a 30-minute break, same as you. Docs get no breaks. It's, like you said, fast-paced. Op isn't unreasonable. If she can't do the job, she can't do the job. I mean, what kind of work is this? I work in an office setting, and obviously I sit most of my workday, and me eating does not mess with my work being done, and literally I eat every 2 hours. Wow. Where I live, the absolute minimum by law for a shift that's over 10 hours is a 45-minute break that can be broken up into 3 15-minute breaks or 1 15-minute break and a 30-minute break, for example. If you are unionized, and most people are, there's usually more breaks for such extreme long shifts. I think it would be in your own best interest to allow people more than one break. Studies show that they are much more productive and make way less mistakes. Are there no laws in your country to protect people? Not the asshole. If she can't perform her job after being told numerous times and having you make accommodations, just fire her. Not the asshole. When you come to work, you are there to work. If you need a coffee, you get it before work. You eat on your breaks. This is basic stuff that everyone knows when they enter the working world. Not the asshole. Reading the other comments, I think I've gotten a better insight on the circumstance. While I understand the situation on their part, when you're coming for work you should be ready for work, unless you have a realistic justification for why you couldn't do that. Nevertheless, I would still propose addressing the situation professionally and with the willingness to understand the inherent problem, if there is one. I'm fucking sorry. One 30-minute break for a 12-hour shift? What horseshit is that? Healthcare or not, that is wrong. Edit. Your edit does not mean it's right. Your hands are tied, fine, but that doesn't change that it is not okay to overwork people like that. Am I the asshole for refusing to get rid of my "Daddy's Number 1 Princess" t-shirt? Throwaway account. I, 20 female, lost my dad 2 years ago and since then it's been revealed that he had another daughter, Amanda, 25 female. Before my dad met my mom he was involved with another woman and dumped her when he found out that was engaged to another man. The guy was military and overseas so my dad had no way of contacting him and he didn't know the woman well enough to reach out to any mutual friends, although my dad did later regret not trying harder. Unbeknownst to my dad he accidentally got her pregnant and she tried to pass Amanda off as her fiancée but it didn't work. She eventually married someone else but later divorced and the guy completely cut contact. Because of this Amanda always wanted to know who my dad was and tried reaching out to him but didn't have much luck because, again, they didn't know each other long. My dad wasn't from there, he moved away and changed his contact information. Eventually, Amanda got a hit through 23andMe through my cousin and reached out. By that time my dad was already gone but his parents, siblings and their children were more than welcoming. My brother and I were pretty weirded out by this and since our dad wasn't on her birth certificate we didn't believe her until there was a DNA test. I wish I could say that this was some magical moment where we all hugged and are now besties, but honestly, I don't feel this strong familial tie to her because I didn't grow up with her. My brother says he feels the same but we both make the effort to be nice when she's around. Up until Amanda came around I was my dad's only daughter and because of this he had a lot of "daddy's favorite daughter" type of things because I was his only daughter at the time. It was like a fun little joke between us. Out of all the things he's given me in relation to this theme that I cherish most is a custom-made t-shirt he got me with a picture of us at a father-daughter dance when I was 12 and the caption, "Daddy's Number 1 Princess." It was one of the last things my dad ever gave me and I love it very much. I never showed it to Amanda but I guess someone else told her and she gently confronted me about it and asked me to get rid of it and anything like this. She expressed how she's been in therapy to cope with never having a true father figure and that her actual father died because ever meeting her and knowing that I was his favorite daughter it really upsetting her. I told her that while I am sad about the situation and won't ever bring it up around her I'm not getting rid of it. I thought Amanda and I had an understanding until my aunt called and berated me for not being respectful to my sister's feelings and that getting rid of a t-shirt that I don't even wear is a small sacrifice because I at least have the memories of having a loving father while Amanda doesn't. Am I the asshole? ETA. Because I keep seeing this I just wanted to clarify certain things. 1. My mom and dad were never married, and broke up before I was born, and I'm currently living with her so that's where the bulk of my "Daddy's Number 1 Princess" type of things are at and Amanda has no reason to come to my mom's house so I'm not worried about things going missing. 2. I have spoken to my brother and he agrees that so long as I don't wear them and or bring them up around Amanda I should have the right to keep them. 3. My grandparents are trying to stay neutral in this because they see both sides to the argument. Not the asshole. Amanda is the one not respectful of your feelings. How can she ask you to get rid of your memories from your father? She just sound jealous. Not the asshole. If family is coming after you, you should pack up these type of mementos and put them somewhere safe. One of them could take it upon themselves to get rid of something they think you shouldn't have. Not the asshole. I have a hard time believing this is real, because it is ridiculous. What would your aunt be calling you about this for? Why would someone tell Amanda about a damn shirt? And how would anyone think they have a right to make you get rid of something your deceased father gave you? Tell her right off for being disrespectful to you. Absolutely not the asshole. You were objectively the favorite if he never even met her, first off. Her loss isn't your responsibility to deal with. Your memories and keepsakes from your father are 100% yours to hold on to. Not the asshole. Amanda is overstepping big time. Her response is genuinely unreasonable. Why wouldn't you be his favorite? He never knew her. She essentially wants you to get rid of almost everything your father gave you out of jealousy. That is disgusting. If I were you, I'd hide that stuff when she's around. You never know what some people will do. Not the asshole at all. Not even a little bit. You didn't go around flaunting this, in fact, you weren't even the person who told her about it. Not only was she so completely out of line in her request, but I would have been so friggin' angry that she would have had the nerve to ask in the first place. Your aunt is even worse. I understand your sister is hurt that she never got to meet your father, but that's just it. She never even met him. You lived your entire life with this man. You had a bond that she never had and never will have. He had no idea she was even there. I'm angry and insulted for you. Not the asshole. She doesn't get to retroactively change your relationship with your deceased father. That's outrageous. I feel sorry for her that she didn't have that opportunity, but the world doesn't revolve around her and she should discuss this with her therapist, not push it on you. Not the asshole. To your dad, you were his only daughter. However, you should obviously not parade this around her and try to be sensitive to her feelings about it. It's unreasonable for her to ask you to dispose of any sentimental items that you have. Am I the asshole for not taking my severely disabled cousin to a theme park? I'm a 24-year-old guy with an 11-year-old little brother who loves roller coasters. For his birthday last week I said me and a couple of my mates, he thinks my mates are cool for some reason and I would probably go insane without people my age there, would take him and 3 friends of his choice to Alton Towers. He was hyped with this, and a few days ago he was talking to me about all the stuff he wanted to go on whilst we were at a family gathering with my dad, abuelo, extended family. My aunt jumps in and asks if my 13-year-old cousin would be able to come with us, as one of the other kids we're taking is a family member. My cousin has pediatric onset multiple sclerosis as well as low-functioning autism, and sometimes uses a wheelchair or a frame. Due to this she has issues with going to the bathroom, gets fatigued very easily, becomes anxious in busy places, has a lot of special needs basically. I explained to my aunt that I didn't really feel responsible enough for my cousin to come with us. I've got no experience looking after anyone with disabilities, let alone a child, and neither have any of my friends. I said there would be a lot of walking, with the kids likely running round, and my cousin would struggle to keep up. She also has a lot of sensory overload issues due to her autism and often has meltdowns when she hears loud noises, and theme parks are pretty fucking loud. It would just be a bad idea, she wouldn't even enjoy it. Plus, I wanted my brother to just enjoy his birthday, he wanted me to go on bigger rides with him and I didn't want it to become a day of just worrying about my cousin. My aunt said I was being selfish, her daughter has every right to enjoy her childhood and make memories with her family. She said if she has to make accommodations in her life every day for her daughter, she doesn't understand why I can't do it for just one day, accused me of treating her daughter like a burden. She also brought up the fact my partner is autistic so I must have experience, but my partner is a 21-year-old woman with no physical disabilities who can manage her high-functioning autism quite well, so I said that's an unfair comparison. I apologized and I felt bad but I put my foot down on my reasoning. We went last week and my dad posted about it on Facebook, where my aunt commented, "Daughter's name wishes she could be there," or something. Edit. A lot of people are saying I should have just asked the aunt to come with her daughter. I already posted this in a comment but it probably got buried so, with all due respect, I didn't really want my 45-year-old aunt tagging along with my 20-something friends for the sake of her daughter being there who my brother didn't even invite. My brother didn't want her there, period, I just wanted something to be just for him for a change. Edit squared. Also a lot of people are saying, just say it's a boys' trip, my girlfriend came with us as well to the park. But my girlfriend still doesn't have the experience or confidence looking after a disabled child, and certainly doesn't know my cousin enough to help with the bathroom situation. Edit cubed. All the people saying I should have taken her just to skip the queue and get good parking, you people are pygons man. Ruthless loudly crying rolling on the floor laughing. So yeah, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. She doesn't understand why I can't do it for just one day. It's not just one day, it's the birthday of your little brother. Taking your cousin with you would make the special day of a 11-year-old all about his cousin instead of him. Not the asshole and you were very polite about it too. This screams entitled people. How many times has your aunt taken cousin to theme parks to start making memories? Not the asshole. If you're not comfortable taking care of your cousin, then you're doing the right thing by not taking her with you. It's for her safety too. Your aunt might be mad at you now, but just know everyone, including you, would be devastated if something happens when your cousin's out with someone who can't take care of her. Not the asshole. Auntie is looking for a day off and free childcare. She knows the theme park would not be a good environment for her daughter. Plus, why in the world would she be okay with someone completely inexperienced caring for her disabled child in such an environment? I get it that she's likely overwhelmed, but this is not the solution. You actually made the best decision for the child, so do not feel guilty. Not the asshole. It's a great responsibility and there could be tons of things go wrong in an amusement park. Even if this wasn't for your little brother's birthday, I would say no if you haven't taken care of your cousin regularly. But I agree it would have made the day about her and not your brother. Your aunt is acting like a child for reacting like this on Facebook. Not the asshole. It's sad that your little cousin has all those health issues. However, as you said, it's your little brother's birthday and the day should be about him. If she had gone, the day unfortunately would have been about her and that would have taken the joy of brother's special B-day. Your aunt is the mother, so she is the one who needs to make sacrifices and accommodate for your cousin's health issues, not you. She just wanted a free day for herself. Well done for taking your brother and his friends. You are a good brother. Not the asshole. It is hard to take care of someone with these disabilities, and if you aren't trained it can be a nightmare for everyone involved. I would never expect anyone to take my son who has disabilities with them to the market, let alone an amusement park. You never know what is going to happen. If she got hurt, you may not know how to help her, calm her or anything else. I also think you are allowed to spend time with your brother doing whatever the heck you want. Siblings should come first and building that bond is what you should work on. Especially when you are older, it's harder to get that time with a younger sibling. And #X200B. I think your aunt is the awe. She also has a lot of sensory overload issues due to her autism and often has meltdowns when she hears loud noises, and theme parks are pretty fucking loud. This alone is reason enough. It truly sounds like it would end up being a nightmare for her. Am I the asshole for expecting my ex's family to be able to provide for him? My 24F, X, 22M, has been living in my family's home for about a year and a half. We have broken up at least 6 months ago. He told me if I kick him out he will be homeless. He also has some bad health conditions that wouldn't help the matter. I hate his guts, to say the least. I feel like he yells and belittles me too much, and he has little respect to my boundaries. There were actions he took in the past that, while he thinks he was not at fault at all, I think he was, and I could not forgive him. Even after having broken up, he still tries to mesh my schedule and personal space into his as much as possible. Hell, it took him until last week to stop groping my breasts whenever he feels like. It's frustrating. I just want to be able to be on my own. I want to work on myself, move on, leave the house whenever I want without being questioned, and maybe date people without him telling me I'm too this and that to move on and date. The reason he is still in my place is because he is very desperate for a place to live, and according to him I could not kick him out anyway because COVID-19 rental restriction on the owner. Last week I had a horrible meltdown and called his father. I could no longer stand having him around me. My ex's family is close by. His dad and grandparents each has spare rooms in their nice houses. I was baffled that they were not willing to help my ex out during this harsh time of his, leaving him under my care. I told the father we have broken up. The living situation is not healthy for either of us. My ex would be homeless without me and I couldn't understand how he wouldn't help his son. To my surprise, he didn't know we have broken up. He said he will see what he could do, and hung up. A few days later, my ex and I had another argument. He chastised me for the call and told me his father thought I was a confused little girl. I said if his father is willing to support him he would take my ex in. My ex lost it, screamed at me for judging his family. He said his family teaches him to support himself, unlike my fake fucking family. I have no business in his family and have no right for such assumptions. Anyhow, I already know he is kind of a douche, but was I wrong to contact his family and want them to let my ex stay with them? Edit. Since a lot have asked about whether there is any leasing agreement between us. When he first moved in we had some form of agreement typed on his computer that he would provide house improvement services for me in exchange for living in the place. Over the year he has not done much, if at all, though he would remind me of the very trivial stuffs he has done for this house, or the stuffs his mom did. Cool lady, if I bring this fact up. He pays half utilities via Zelling me every month. Edit 2. Some Redditors have asked where my family stands in this situation. My parents bought the house with me but don't live in the States at all. My sister and her husband used to live with me and she paid rent. My ex, after having dated me for about a week or two, got us to get into a fight and convinced me to evict my own sister. If there is an am I the asshole for this particular situation, I am undoubtedly Ta. Edit 3. Thanks to you guys, I have cross-posted this to our legal advice. Thank you so much for the supports. Kick him out. Where he goes is none of your business. He should not be living with you, regardless of his situation. You need to put your sense of peace, happiness and well-being above his, especially in your own house. Not the asshole. Kick him out. He is not standing by himself, he is freeloading and he doesn't respect your boundaries. Have the police involved if you have to. Not the asshole. Since he's lived with you so long, you'll have to evict him the correct way. I suggest calling a lawyer or Googling how to evict a tenant, because that's what he's considered now. Also, since you guys are broken up, go out and date and see other people. If he asks questions, tell him it isn't his business what you do. You can't make him leave the house unless you evict him. However, you can make it much less desirable for him to live with you. Please call the police next time he sexually assaults or domestically abuses you. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Start the eviction process. The moratorium is ending in September. Not the asshole. Change the locks next time he leaves. Leave all his stuff outside. Not the asshole. This is your family's home. What is the rest of your family doing about him? Your parents or whoever should make him leave. Not the asshole. File a report of sexual assault and then file for a restraining order.